The NBA trade deadline was absolutely insane. So many moves, almost too many moves. And second round picks, they're actually the new currency in the NBA. I've never seen so many second round picks moved in my life. Now, I'm not going to waste too much time. I just want to talk about some of these moves that I absolutely loved at the deadline, and other moves, or at least lack thereof moves by some of these teams that I just didn't quite understand. Let's start with the winners. Obviously, the Phoenix Suns. This organization goes from being in complete disarray with Robert Sarver to now they get a new owner, to now he walks into the building with one of the best players on the planet on his team now. Now, even though they did lose a lot, I'm still processing the Mikal Bridges loss. He was like that Swiss Army knife for that team. He can guard multiple positions, one of the best on-ball defenders in the league, great team defender with a 7-foot wingspan, and he was developing tremendously as an offensive player, putting the ball on the floor. Obviously, he was always able to stretch the floor, and that is a big loss. Losing Mikal and Cam, that's two valuable, versatile wings that made them a lot of what they were last year, and Jay Crowder on top of that, that's all of their wing depth. But at the end of the day, it's Kevin Durant, so they had to do that. Now, even with the big losses and even with the questionable bench, they were able to get a top 5 talent still in his prime with 3 years left on his contract and still maintain their nucleus. They immediately made themselves at least co-favorites, if you still want to say Denver, and they still have a buyout market that they can exploit, and they're going to be a favorable destination. So like I said, I mean, getting that type of talent, still keeping Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and Ayton, I mean, they're winners. Obviously, they're winners. Also, the Brooklyn Nets. This seems to be a very polarizing take, with some people not understanding the direction of Brooklyn, mainly Lakers fans because they wanted Kyrie for those 2 picks. But me, I think they came out well given the circumstances, the value of Kyrie, and just the whole concept of everything being over. Now, for everybody screaming, damn, this organization is a dumpster fire. You traded Kyrie for win now pieces, but you traded Kevin Durant for the future. It doesn't make sense. Let me tell you why I respect it, and I'm actually glad it happened that way. Joe Tsai and Sean Marks were clearly trying to stick it to Kyrie and not give him what he wanted. And you as an NBA fan, forget the Lakers fans right now, as an NBA fan, you should be happy about that. It would have been a terrible look for the NBA, a complete abuse of player empowerment, and almost like a lockout inflicting move if Kyrie put Brooklyn through everything that he put him through, trashed them when he left, got all his money guaranteed, didn't acknowledge anything that he did wrong, and still choose his next destination with Brooklyn's help. That's way too far. And to me, they didn't even come out that bad player and asset wise. Dorian Finney-Smith is a champion 3-and-D contending piece for somebody. So I'm anticipating that he'll be packaged for some type of compensation back this summer. Mikal Bridges, it was a report that he was commanding 4 first-rounders. That's a lot of leverage they can get back for a player of his magnitude. So to close that dramatic, uncertain chapter, still get back picks and still get valuable players that you can use and swap for more picks if you choose to go that route, I don't think they came out terrible. I would consider them winners. The Lakers, and I'm not going to touch on this too long because I've already talked about this multiple times, but they came out as pretty solid winners too. Rob being able to move Russ's contract for 2 players that they didn't even play and that 1 protected 2027 first round pick and still bring back all that value that actually makes sense stylistically, that's a great job. Also, every player they just traded for was a bigger player than the guy they just lost, which could definitely help them on the glass, defensively when they play players like now Kevin Durant, Luka Doncic, etc., Kawhi. Also, they brought in pretty good solutions to their glaring problems. They didn't really have good spacing. They brought in Malik Beasley and D'Angelo Russell, 2 players that probably shoot better than anything they had on that roster. I thought they needed more versatile young talent on the wings that can serve multi-purposes. Not he's a shooter like Matt Ryan, but he gets eaten alive defensively, or he can stretch the floor like Carmelo, but he can't guard anybody. They brought in Rui Hachimura, and that's solid. He's a young body defensively. He can spot up decently, and he has a decent mid-range game, so that was nice. They needed more help defensively. They brought in one of the more versatile defenders in the league, Jared Vanderbilt, and Mo Bamba, somebody that can help their interior presence. And what I like about these moves mainly is they're all pretty much low risk. D'Angelo Russell and Jared Vanderbilt, they're free agents after this year. Malik Beasley and Mo Bamba, they're on team options, so you can get something back if they don't work out. You didn't really take many risks, yet you gave LeBron and AD a real chance at a push. Milwaukee, Boston, and Philly. They're all winners, if you ask me. All had underrated pickups that fit their specific teams. Milwaukee got Jay Crowder, a good wing defender that can be streaky shooting wise, but he has a lot of experience in big games, so he fits right where they are. Philly got Jalen McDaniels for Thibault, and that may sound small, but that's a pretty solid upgrade. McDaniels has size, so he can be a good help defender. He can help him on the glass, and he's just a much more playable playoff piece. Thibault, he was just a black hole offensively. And Boston picked up Mike Muscala from OKC, a team that loves to space the floor so their wings can just abuse you one-on-one and drive and kick to their spot-up shooters and stuff like that. Now adding a 6'11 stretch, they can just add in rotation. That's a solid pickup. And all three of these teams, I don't care how much of a disarray his team was actually in, all three of these teams should be pretty happy Kevin Durant is out the Eastern Conference. So really they all won. The last winner in all of this, sneakily, is Houston. Remember, from that James Harden trade, they own Brooklyn's first round picks up until 2027. Brooklyn is rebuilding now, so those are going to be great picks. Now with the losers, let's just start with Miami. I talked about in my blow up video how they need to make more moves. They have no size in their front court. Relying on Caleb Williams at the 4 in the East, where bigs are prominent, especially at the top of the conference, it just makes no sense. I thought they'd be more aggressive in trying to shop Kyle Lowry. I don't know if his value is just that low, but he's still on the team in his contract. And going back to their size or lack thereof, if you look at the top 4 teams in their conference, they all have good to great front courts, and that doesn't even include Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson with the Knicks. Miami just got even thinner losing Dwayne Dedmon, so I just don't know what they're doing. Chicago, they're probably the biggest losers in all of this. If anything, they should have at least moved Vucevic. He's a free agent after this year, so you're probably going to lose him for nothing anyway. That top 4 pick they got with Orlando, it's going to Orlando because they won't embrace the rebuild and they're keeping all the talent on the team. So the Vooch trade just looks awful, and it's your fault. You lost 2 first-round picks, Wendell Carter Jr., who gives you relative production, and he's 23 years old, and you got nothing out of it but a cool-looking roster for 2 years that did nothing. Golden State, I hate to put them on this list, and it's even surprising to put them on this list, but I am questioning exactly what they're doing at the top. I love bringing GP back. He's great for what they do on both sides of the court, and he just fits what they're about. But you basically lost a 2nd overall pick for a player that you just could have kept in the summer? That's a major head scratcher, and also they're losers because the rest of the West just got significantly better. If Steph can't get back this year in time to help them contend standings wise, because they're the 9th, 8th seed right now, we may have just seen the end of that dynasty. It may have just happened. Slight loser in this, and it's not anything they did wrong. It's just the reality of the situation. The Denver Nuggets. The moves they made weren't bad at all. They moved Bones Highland. He clearly didn't fit their vision. They got Thomas Bryant from LA to back up Yoke. That's a very solid pickup. But the West they were in clear command of 2 weeks ago is a completely different West they lead today. Adding Kevin Durant back to the West, introducing Kyrie Irving to the West, the Lakers making major upgrades in the West. All of this is going to shake up the standings, and even if they get that first seed, they can very well see Golden State in the first round. That's a nightmare. The Lakers in the first round. That's a night. The Clippers in the night. That is a nightmare first round, and it sucks for them, but it's the reality of the situation. If you guys like this video, like this video. If you made it this far, comment your Super Bowl winners and your Super Bowl score. I got the Chiefs 28-24. I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. I just can't. Follow my social media sites, turn on post notifications, do all that great stuff, guys. And until next time, as always, stay tuned.